Since we were on the subject of roosters, let's talk about our roosters, our dad of all our young babies. His needs are much different than the hen's needs. He, to where a hen will need approximately 4 grams of calcium per day to make eggshells and to keep their bones and their body functioning correctly. To where a rooster doesn't need that much calcium. Actually, the calcium can be very damaging to the roosters. And I'm pretty sure all of us are, feed our chickens a good laying crumble or laying pellet or laying mash. And our roosters are out with the hens and they're eating that too. So they're getting much more calcium than what their body really needs, and that can cause a lot of damage to their body. Their kidneys have to secrete all that extra calcium, and it can cause them to have vesical gout, which is very damaging to the roosters. It can also make them almost infertile as well. Even as roosters get older, they still don't need as much calcium. They need maybe 1% of calcium per day, to where a hen needs 4 grams of calcium each and every day. Roosters play a vital role in with the hens. As you can see, these 2 hens here are his favorite, and they stick with him, to where the Brahmas aren't so comfortable with him. This is why I was talking about needing a couple of extra roosters with your hens. Also, roosters are the ones that tell the hens that something is coming, any aerial predators. They're constantly watching out. They're constantly talking to them. They're constantly pecking at food and calling them over to the food or to the scratch or a supply of oyster shells or grit or whatever it is that they're wanting. The roosters are helping the hens find that. So when we feed our roosters, we really need to feed them separately from our hens. So like when we turn them out, and I haven't turned these out yet, we need to turn the roosters out first thing in the morning, and then feed our hens, and then after the hens have had their fill, turn them out with the roosters. Get the roosters, there's plenty, different types of feed for roosters. Different companies make feed just specifically for roosters. So you can look up and find out what companies make that. They make a feed, a high protein feed for roosters because the roosters need a high protein. Now, also when they are in molt, the hens aren't going to need as much calcium. So during that time, you could probably feed them the same thing that the roosters are eating, because they need a lower calcium during their molt when they're losing all their feathers than they do when they're laying. Now, molting will consist of anywhere between 3 weeks to a month or 2. It all depends on the chicken. And there goes the guineas again. Talking to the guinea, one's in the turkey pen and one's in the chicken pen. They can be very nuisances. Yeah, get my tongue off my eye teeth and I can see what I'm saying. But we'll get back to the roosters. We want to keep our roosters healthy, and we are going to have to start replacing our roosters when they're approximately between 4 and 5 years old. That's when they're starting to slow down. on the fertility. Your chickens, your hens, your hens are going to be probably replaced between 2 and 3 years of age. They start slowing down. Their prime for giving you the most eggs is between 6 to 8 months to a year. When they're about a year and a half old, they start slowing down on the amount of eggs that they give. If they're giving you an egg a day, they're going to start giving you an egg every other day. If they give you an egg every other day, they're going to start laying like every third day. And as they get older, it's going to be less. Chickens can live up to 10 to 12 years, but hens will not be laying that long. If they do lay, it only be an egg maybe once a month or so, or even, not at all. It all depends. And roosters, you want to keep them very fertile because as these hens are getting older, you want to keep their eggs fertile so you can rehatch out new batches of chicks and replace your hens with new chicks. And we do want to keep our good roosters, but like I say, we will have to replace them. So as we raise our chicks, and we want to watch our roosters, and you don't want to inbreed your chicks to anything. This is why you need more than just one rooster. I like to keep like three extra roosters. Like with the black Coochins here, I'm planning on getting 2 more roosters. Now this one rooster, he's a year old. So in another couple of more years, I'm going to have to think about replacing him. So if I purchase new roosters from the hatchery, I'll have new blood. And so I can breed these hens, and they're going to be replaced by other hens. So everything's going to be constantly replaced. It all depends on what how many eggs you're wanting a day, or if you're selling a lot of eggs and stuff, you're going to be wanting to replace your hens quite often. Probably every year you'll probably be wanting to replace your hens. It all depends on how many hens you want and how many eggs you sell per week or per day, how many eggs you use in your household, how many chicks you want to raise, how many roosters you want to keep for butcher for the. So you're just going to have to constantly think about that. We don't want our roosters to be sick or anything. We don't want them to have any gout or other issues. We don't want to lose our roosters while our hens are still young enough to breed and produce eggs. So also, your hens need zinc, they need magnesium, they need iron, salt. If you read the label on the chicken feed, you can see how much calcium and how much zinc and iron, how much other minerals and vitamins. They need a vitamin B, B12, they need vitamin K, they need a lot of extra vitamins and minerals. Also, the best time to worm your chickens is in the wintertime. I know we like to worm them a couple of times a year during the year, but wintertime is the best time because the ground is cold, and when you're deworming them, anything that's living will die. Same thing when you're wanting to make sure that they stay lice free, tick free, flea free, and make sure that they are not being infested by mosquitoes even. Mosquitoes carry a lot of diseases, ticks carry a lot of diseases, so we want to keep our birds good, strong, and healthy, and out of anything. Their parasites are blood suckers, and they can suck a lot of blood if your chickens get a large infestation of lice or ticks or fleas, and that can weaken their system also. So you want to be sure and use. I don't use chemicals because I don't want my birds eating the chemical off of their skin. Like if they're pecking themselves or cleaning themselves, I don't want them cleaning any of that into them, any of the chemicals into them. So I use ginger and garlic to help keep the fleas and ticks and lice off my tick. Also, it helps to get rid of all interior uh, parasites. So I hope this helped a little bit on our roosters and how we can keep our roosters healthy. Please subscribe. Please push the notification bell. Please make a comment. I really enjoy them. And push the like or not like button, and we'll catch you on the flip side.